Need more grok talk? Well, you can catch new shows Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Miss a show? Not a problem. Past shows are rebroadcast here daily from 9 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. Join us for 2 hours of unapologetic conservatism. And we're not just armed with opinions.
Rock Talk.
Alrighty.
I was just enjoying the music, but since you say we're back,
We're back.
okay.
Alright, so we have plenty of things to talk about. We're not just going to wander off.
So we do. So let's just wind up where we're at. So I thought that Lindsey Graham saying, we might just have to rally round Cruz was an interesting realization that he'd woken up and smelled the coffee. But the message a couple of days ago on Wednesday when he said, I'm going fundraising for Ted Cruz, that is a realization that they are out of choices. And likewise with Romney, he stumped for Kasich on Tuesday. It was a hamburger on Tuesday, but it's Cruz on Thursday.
Yeah, Kasich's got to be going, wait, what about me?
Nobody cares about him.
Nobody
Put
cares
him in a
about
mail
him.
sack.
He was just supposed to win Ohio. That was his job. He's done. All right, so let's talk about something else. Mike Gill's got a new sign up.
Oh, really? Who's offending this time?
Oh, well, Kimberly?
Andy Cruz and Dick Anagost.
I don't know.
I don't know these people, but it says he's got their picture up there and it says drug dealer next to their names. I just saw that the other day. What?
So sue him?
Well, that's just it.
Well, they're not.
The article says that they're not going to sue him because they're just too busy. And he's like, they're not suing me because they can't win.
I think that part's interesting, but someone else said, someone else was saying, you know what, if you're going to say that, where's your proof? Where's your backup on his part? And I kind of agree because we couldn't get away. We wouldn't do that.
No, it is.
You got to put up or shut up.
Right, and he's been saying a lot of things about a lot of people, and nobody's sued him for it yet. And he still hasn't, to best of my knowledge, released any of this information. I mean, I hear about all this corruption in the state, and I agree with Susan. This is a closely held criminal enterprise, the state of New Hampshire.
Yep.
It's like a small town mob statewide in a small state, and they're all kind of wrecking the place. That's pretty much what they're doing, and profiting
for their own personal gain.
And profiting in the process.
You mean they came here directly from Rhode Island and we did not pass go?
Well, some of them are from here. They just realized that they're in New England, and this is what people in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York have been doing for decades to enrich themselves and their buddies, and they're just getting on the train. They're not. I mean, it's not a new thing. So, yeah, I mean, Kevin Avard's interviewed him a ton of times, but I haven't seen any evidence.
I can't stomach the guy in studio. He was too freaking insulting. He may have a genuine beef with Gary Lambert, but the way he...
Not Gary Lambert. You're close. George Lambert.
George Lambert. But the personal attacks and the nonstop interruptions in studio were just too much to take. He's not... his face may be fit for radio, but his voice ain't coming on.
He's got something. He's got a burr in his bonnet, and that's fine. And it's nice to see him shake things up. But I want to see lawsuits. I want to see prosecutions. I want to see. Yeah. Great, you're running for governor. Fine. You're not going to win.
No.
But if you're going to use that as a platform to bring this forward, bring it.
Yeah.
File some,
enough foreplay. What the hell's going on here?
Yep.
File some public interest lawsuits against some of these people. If you think they're really corrupt and you say you've got the evidence, plunk the evidence on the counter.
Well, yeah, and I believe him. I believe he's got something.
Yeah.
Because you don't say the things you're saying about these people. I mean, he's got tons of money. Obviously, he can defend himself.
Yeah, but basically whip it out and prove it, Buster.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Skip is here, by the way. He just can't talk because he's so damn sick. But he's really excited about that comment, let me tell you. All right, we've had some more fun. I
am referring, of course, to the legal documents and depositions.
Sure, you call it what you want, buddy.
Not depositions of the Clintonian kind.
Speaking of real quick, did you know there's a store that's selling Trump-hands?
Oh, God.
And they sell them, and they're like actual size. They're small hands, and it's actual size.
Hey, it's America. Make some money.
Hey, exactly.
Yeah. Well, the culture has declined to a level of discourse where this is just like, whatever.
Yep.
I still think short-fingered vulgarian is a better description of Trump than all the other insults.
I like Trumpster fire, Trumpkins.
Trumpalumpas.
All right, James O'Keefe was here this week to have a press conference to talk about how he was handing over all the raw video to the governor so that they could investigate the vote fraud, which we know they aren't going to do. But after the press conference, he was invited to visit the New Hampshire AG, who then handed him a grand jury subpoena to hand over what he'd already handed over. Voluntarily, yeah. So that's New Hampshire right there in a nutshell. If you really want to know how it works, and no, they're not going to prosecute anybody. They go after these tiny little fish, but they're not going to do anything major. We're not going to see any large changes.
They'll threaten the messenger, but in the end can't even prosecute the messenger.
Keystone Cops. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Well, it's part of the closely held criminal enterprise. In order for the enterprise to succeed, they need vote fraud. And if they do anything to fix it, so what was it? The 10-day waiting period before you could purchase or own a voter ID card or something, whatever it is. They wanted to have residency for 10 days. Residency for 10 days. Some of these people, well, all right,
The campaign workers are typically here for a couple of months before the election.
All that would stop is like the lawyer from Arkansas who never even lived at Martha Fuller Clark's house, who voted absentee, probably from some other state. Those people would have a little bit more difficulty. But then again, if Martha Fuller Clark says, "Oh, he's been living here for more than 10 days," nobody in this state's going to be like, "Okay, Martha, we."
Right.
So we know you're lying as usual, but we'll let him pass. Yeah.
There's got to be a deadline for registering to vote in an election. You have to be able to prove you freaking live here, and driver's license is a great way to do that, or an approved state ID, which my son has because he doesn't drive. That's what you use for your welfare. That's what you use for your food stamps. That's what you're going to use for your Medicaid expansion, Medicaid. That's what you're going to use for all your government programs. That's what you're going to use for everything, from cashing a check to getting everything, but not for voting.
And if it's racist to require a picture ID for voting, how is it that the same people that are supposedly the victims of voter ID racism have absolutely no problem being on the right side of racism when it comes to getting
in New Hampshire,
benefits?
If you're 16 years old, you cannot get welfare benefits or Social Security benefits from the state without a picture ID.
I don't think anybody can they?
Nope.
That's what I thought.
That's not racist or sexist or anything else.
No, that's absolutely straight up and down.
If we could just get the media to talk about that every day on the news, everybody'd know about it.
Well, I don't understand why they do. Well, no, I do understand why they don't.
Because they're part of the whole closely held criminal enterprise.
So I do have to compliment John DeStazo for being at the press conference on Thursday and at the Seacoast Republican Women event yesterday to cover it and to cover O'Keefe's utterances and videos. And by the way, he teased the governor's office over the announcement that, hey, we got the governor under surveillance too. And of course, the governor claimed that no such thing was possible, in spite of the still of what was obviously a picture of the governor taken from a button cam.
Oh my God.
So basically, James is saying, we've infiltrated more places than you can imagine. Start behaving.
Well, you wouldn't think that. I was talking because I did get an interesting phone call, which I often do, or email from local people to tell me stuff that's going on. And you wouldn't think that this small little state, idyllic New England, lovely New Hampshire, would be like Rhode Island. You would. I never thought this. I mean, yeah, there's corruption, whatever. Where there's politicians, there usually is, but it's bad. It's really, really bad on statewide, across the board level.
It is hugely
and we
bad.
have some good reps, and we do have some good people that really would like to change things, but it's leadership that they're all, you know what I mean, across the. And I'm not talking one party over another. It's everybody.
It's just like being inside the Beltway.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, and I've only been really politically active for about not even 10 years, but if you look back at what happens in D.C. and you look at what happens in Concord, they're kind of the same. One's first, this one, then this one, then this one. It's all the same thing because they're connected.
Yep.
And
we're gonna pass this because it's an election year and it'll make us look good. Oh, we're not gonna pass this because that'll make that one.
It has absolutely nothing to do. Well, to your point, there are representatives who are going to Concord with the idea that they are there to represent the people who elected them, and that we have this constitution thingy, and we have these human rights thingies, and we have these local control issues, and they're there to make sure that those things are protected or defended from whoever happens to be proposing legislation.
Right.
And then everybody else, and then, see, their job is to pollute these people over here to get them to be part of that and to run along and get along and go along. And they do that all the time. And the Jasper administration in the New Hampshire House is a fine example of a large number of people whom we used to think were reliable local control, small government, New Hampshire Constitution people. And they've all kind of gone into leadership, and now we can't trust them anymore.
No, because they have to vote how they're told by leadership.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way it's played, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Just look at Ovide endorsing Ayotte. That's next on my list.
He has a list.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing.
I have to have a list. This place is crazy if I don't have a list.
As Skip wrote, there is one thing being the perfect gentleman, not demanding a recount, and going fundraising for Kelly in 2010. It is another thing entirely, with the evidence abundantly laid out in front of you, that she is not particularly pro-life, not particularly budget hawk, in fact, not particularly pro-Constitution in general, that to continue to endorse her instead of just staying quiet is beyond being a gentleman. It's being sucked into the machine.
Well, I guess we'd have to figure out what benefit is it to him.
Well, it obviously isn't defunding Planned Parenthood, because that failed.
I don't know what does he get out of this, I wonder. If anything.
A job.
Well, maybe. You never know. Could be.
And from the Oracle we have.
We're the problem. Apparently, conservatives are the problem.
Oh, well, yes.
Oh.
So basically, he says the same thing as that rhino who was on the PBS NewsHour thing with me.
Yeah.
It's our fault. We're the problem. Because we believe in local control and small government and constitutional limitations on the people in power, we're not letting them get their way. So, yeah, that is our fault. If we're not letting you grow government at our expense and to become irresponsible and uncontrollable, yes, I object to those things.
Well, I can't imagine that Ovide thinks that if government grows, that it will solve the problems that he wanted to solve. And so why would he want to support somebody who's, at the very least, not going to restrain government?
I don't know. There's something going on in the party politics this is.
Yes, I know. He went DC, not just to DC. He went DC.
Yeah, but for what advantage? He's not doing anything.
Wasn't he supporting Carly?
He was.
He's not doing anything in New Hampshire. He's not political in New Hampshire. That's my question. Where, somewhere, deep down beneath the layer of I'm endorsing Kelly Ayotte, there must be something going on. Either that or he's had a major ideological shift for no political advantage whatsoever.
Well, maybe they really, really, really asked him for his help because she's in trouble.
Well, she is in trouble, and that could just be it. It could be that they just begged and pleaded and begged and pleaded, and he finally said, fine, go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Destazo agrees it's going to be a fun year this year.
That's not fun.
It's going to be a fun year for Kelly.
Oh, I wrote about the Kelly Hassan race before. It's just nothing but a cat fight because they both are terrible. People aren't happy with Hassan. I mean, I pay attention to all this stuff, and you learn a lot from people commenting and on social media.
So you're saying the Democrats aren't particularly happy with Hassan or the Conservatives?
No, nobody's happy with either of them. This is going to be the worst senatorial race probably in all of the country. It's horrible. Nobody wants either. But the thing is, on top of it, you have freaking, Man Bear Pig Rubens running.
Careful, you endangered Skip's keyboard there.
Sorry.
All right, Jim, if you're listening, Man Bear Pig.
But you know what I mean? Like, what's the point of that? It's a waste of time and effort. What is it doing? Can we get some good candidates? Where are they?
I'd actually take him over Ayotte, but I'm still looking for.
I think the establishment has done its job. You know, anybody who runs.
Oh.
This goes all the way back to.
Yeah,
you can follow this back to Jack Kimball as the chairman of the GOP. Basically, the people who control who writes checks said, if you don't get out of here, you're not going to get any money from anybody because we control the money. And then eventually they found a way to get rid of him anyway, and he went. But, you know, that was just it. He was going to have a very unfunded, you know, because there aren't clearly enough people with money, and there really are, but they're not, who are willing to stand up to the party and say, you know, so if a bunch of rich people who are more conservative Republicans came up and said, well, we'll fund the party.
Yeah.
Screw you.
If we had our own Koch brothers here in the state, for example.
Right. He would be able to have stayed and fought. But the entire system is built.
Rigged.
Right. It is built to keep those people from running, to keep them from having power, to keep them from having influence.
Yeah, because if they don't like you or they don't like your ideas, they're not going to support you.
It's like the college campus thing. You don't want to say anything because you're afraid of all the crap you're going to get.
Yep.
Well, it's the same thing in the state party and the national party. You don't want to push too hard because of all the crap you're going to get, which makes, by the way, Ted Cruz's success that much more impressive because he's not getting media attention. Everybody says they hate him. Nobody says you're supposed to like the guy, and yet he's in second place with none of the free-earned media, none of that.
Nothing, no free-earned media.
Just based on his campaigning and getting his message out to the conservative base.
You know, and I find the conversions in terms of endorsements particularly interesting. You know, there's two kinds of conversions. There's the ones that either were in it themselves or were neutral to begin with and came around after hard thought. People like Rick Perry, who originally was against the loud, angry outsiders, but he gave it careful thought. He spent a day on the road with Cruz, and he said, I have, you know, for all the right reasons, I am supporting Ted Cruz. You know, there's Carly Fiorina, who dropped out, stayed quiet, thought about it, and came out and said, I'm going to hit the trail with Ted Cruz. He is the guy. And then there's the other sorts. There's the ones that really, really, really don't want Cruz or wish there was a better way, but are realizing that he's their last stand, and they're going to support him because they have to. Now, what's going to happen at the convention, I don't know. You know what they did to Reagan. They saddled him with H.W. Bush, a fine man, but not a conservative. You know, in this case, they're going to try and saddle Cruz with, at best, a Rubio, who's at least somewhat conservative on at least fiscal issues, or Kasich, which, you know, the guy has no honor or integrity whatsoever.
Ugh, no. Scissor hands.
Yeah. So that does lead to other thoughts. What the heck happens at the convention if Cruz and Trump go in just a little short each, and the party is threatening all sorts of mayhem?
I see you over there holding your tongue.
Yeah. I think those two team up. You know, Cruz has said a few times, "I'm not going to be Trump's VP," but you know what? Being Trump's conscience might be the best thing for the country. Go for it, Kim. What were you going to say?
What was I going to say?
Coming up a little short, and you were just like...
I just made the look about the hands thing. I didn't say anything.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back, see if we can get it out of her. Hold on. Don't go anywhere.
Kasich, scissor hands.
Rock